I was going to school at Florida State University, working on my PhD, which I ended up finishing, and there was an opportunity to go to Kenya, right here on the map, and train pastors. And as I started doing the work, I came across another missionary who was using the BTCP curriculum. And I thought, this is fantastic. And I grabbed it, embraced it, and taught a class, and fell in love with it. One of my first classes, I had moved to Uganda, is I brought over a Kenyan guy, a pastor, who wanted to be in school. And he was a little bit older than me and called himself a bishop. And I didn't think much of that because many African pastors call themselves bishops. And he went through training for a year. His name was Daniel. And then he invited me to go to his home in Kenya, in Kakamega. So I went to his home and we drove there. And as we reach his village where he's at, his house is about 2 miles off the main road. And so when we get there, the entire 2 miles is lined up with people, thousands of people. And they're all wearing uniforms and they have palm branches. And I felt like I was like Jesus coming into Jerusalem on the triumphal entry. And Daniel's right there and they're all there for him. He's their pastor. He's a pastor of thousands of people, and they all waving the branches, and I get to his church, and there's a lot of weird practices in his church. And I remember telling him, hey, this doesn't match what we're learning in BTCP in class. And he goes, I know, but I have to be here to make the changes. I'm learning a better way. I'm learning a better way from you and from the Bible and from these books that we're studying. So we came back to Uganda, continued his training for another year. He went back home and totally made a huge transformation in his ministry. They changed things around. He said, I want all of my pastors to be trained in BTCP. He has now taught 4 classes of BTCP and still is teaching classes of BTCP, not only his pastors, but other pastors of the community. They no longer wear uniforms. They no longer are barefoot in the church. They no longer sit on the floor. They sit on benches. But the main thing is, they study the Bible. He goes through the Bible passages and teaches it in an expository way, and that's so exciting. They're getting real doctrine, and there's just a change, and that has impacted thousands and thousands of people. Last time I talked to him, he had 49 churches. Churches are being planted, growing, and the entire denomination has been transformed because Daniel went through the BTCP.